It's such a pleasure to be with you this evening, whether you're here in person or whether you're online. I've learned to love my home office over these past months. One of the things that I've done to make things more comfortable is to buy a really big monitor that I use in addition to my laptop, at the bottom of which I've stuck a few Post-its with inspirational quotes. Cheesy, I know, but it's sometimes just what I need in the middle of the day to stay focused and centered as I juggle the myriad demands of a very full-time job in the Bethel presidency. My favorite quote these days is by Rabbi Nachman of Breslov. It says, "If you believe breaking is possible, believe fixing is possible." We live in broken times. Over this past year, the news has been overwhelming. The ongoing pandemic, the Capitol insurrection, fires, hurricanes, floods, it all seems quite biblical. But at heart, I am an optimistic person, and I like to believe that fixing is possible. And if sadness and isolation are at the root of so much of our brokenness, then the connection and purpose that we find in this Bethel community gives us reason for hope. I've felt that hope over the past year as we've davened and learned together on Zoom, as we've celebrated one another's mitzvot and milestones, as we've worked together on Bethel's board and committees, and especially as many of us saw one another for the first time in 18 months on Rosh Hashanah. Last year was a hard one for each of us individually, but in many ways, it was a good one for Bethel as a community. While we may not have done things exactly the same way as we have in the past, we exercised our creativity and resilience and came up with new approaches to Jewish life. We started out by gathering online for services, later transitioning to our outdoor mishkan, and finally to our sanctuary. We reconfigured our preschool classes so that we could continue to welcome children in person, becoming experts on the ins and outs of COVID prevention. We added an online Hebrew curriculum to our JLC offerings, providing students with access to high-quality language instruction from home. We offered virtual programming with sessions on social justice, Israel, Hanukkah mixology, and even virtual versions of the Big Quiz Thing and our annual Purim parade. And we connected with our rabbis at monthly drive-through events in the Bethel parking lot. Our community grew. We added 59 new member families between June 2020 and September 2021. That's right, 59. And we celebrated 33 B'nai Mitzvahs. And while all of this was happening, we continued to plan for our future. We developed a thoughtful, values-driven approach to determining when and how to gather in person. We created a new set of goals for our Jewish Learning Center. We hired a new executive director and team coordinator. And with your generosity, we met our annual fundraising and budgetary goals in the middle of a global pandemic. I want to thank all of you who contributed to those successes. First and foremost, thank you to our incredible rabbis who have dedicated their hearts and souls to Bethel over this past year. Thank you to the rest of our professional team. I want to say their names out loud because each of them has done an extraordinary job. Steve Zeidberg, Karen Freeman-Pettis, Christine Jenkins, Steve Jezak, Quentin Mitchell, Rivka Nelson, Anita Pittman, Terry Pridgeon, Elise Shire, Danielle Weitz, and Talia Feldman. Thank you for your tireless efforts to keep our congregation going. Thanks to all of you who gave your time to Bethel this year. Our executive committee, board of trustees, committee chairs, committee members, task force members, Torah readers, daveners, Torah talk leaders, program planners, and all of our other volunteers, not to mention our amazing past presidents who are always there to help when we need them. Thank you to Judy Lieberman for helping us bring Rabbi Creditor here for these holidays, and to Danielle and Josh Mann and Ken Mayers and Sally Fortunato for the beautiful Bima flowers. And thanks to all of you who contributed financially to Bethel over the past year. So what's next? If only I knew what the next year would bring. What I can tell you is that for Bethel, this is a moment of opportunity. My hope is that we will continue to gradually return to in-person gathering, while also offering services virtually for those of us who are not yet ready to return to this building. We will celebrate Shabbat and holidays together with prayer, study, and hopefully, eventually, indoor Kiddush. We'll learn together, engage in social justice work together, and gather together for social events. 90 children will attend our Thelma K. Reisman preschool, and another 160 will attend our Jewish Learning Center, all in person. 41 teens will become B'nai Mitzvah. We will focus intensively on community building, launching a new group for Gen Xers, connecting congregants across generations, and welcoming our many new members. We'll conduct a listening tour to better understand the spiritual needs of our community members and use what we've learned to design and pilot new approaches to learning, prayer, and meditation. And we will celebrate Bethel's 75th anniversary together, acknowledging our past and looking forward to our future. You may have noticed how frequently I've used the word we over the past few minutes. It's in virtually every sentence of this speech. That's because we are Bethel. And with that great power comes great responsibility. Yes, Rabbi, I did just quote Spider-Man. My last name is Parker, after all. It's up to us to ensure Bethel's success in these challenging times. The good news is that we can get there if each and every one of us does just 3 things. 1, be a Bethel community builder. I hope that each of you will take personal responsibility for weaving the connections that make our community strong. Introduce yourself to someone new, maybe someone a little older or a little younger than you are. Invite someone over for Shabbat dinner, or for coffee, or for a walk. Get to know one another. Bottom line, Bethel is only as warm and as welcoming as we all make it. 2, contribute your time. Almost nothing at Bethel happens without the help of volunteers. I hope that you will consider volunteering for a committee or a task force or to help out with an event or something else. As a side benefit, volunteering is a great way to get to know folks in the congregation you might not otherwise meet. And 3, contribute financially. We all want to ensure the financial health and sustainability of our beloved congregation. In the coming months, you'll be asked to invest in our community. Please say yes, even if you haven't given before. Give what you can. Give what feels meaningful to you and your family. Our executive committee, board, and past presidents have already made this commitment, and I hope you'll join them. And so, as the post-it on my computer says, if you believe breaking is possible, believe fixing is possible. I believe fixing is possible, and I believe it starts right here at Bethel. In this new year, let us work together to ensure that this community remains strong, a place where each of us feel a sense of connection, purpose, and hope, and where we draw the inspiration and strength to engage with this broken world and strive to fix it. Gemar Chatima Tova.